Welcome to WSN News for November 28, 2017. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I'll be your host and the voice of Written Sins. We're going to talk about the news that came out today that is brought to us by Battle for the Net. We're going to explain more what that means coming up on the show today. We're going to go right to our main page, and we're going to check out what's been happening on Written Sins today. We just got off talking about Kickstarters that are about to end, but for now, there are Kickstarters that are a little more time to go, including 5 Star, which is now on Kickstarter, and Woohoo Morris, which bundles of books are available of 1 and 2. Don't forget about our Facebook group. I think a lot of people don't realize that Written Sins has a Facebook room where you guys can deliberately and quickly upload your information onto so we can put it on our site. We generally don't put it on the same day because we don't want to double expose, so we'll wait a day or two to upload it onto our site, but everything makes our site unless it's got a time limit. That's why you see Woohoo Morris, which was taken from our group today, because there is obviously 11 days to go. We wanted to get it on pretty fast. Stabby Bunnies has gone on to be on previews, but previews window is kind of done right now, but we're still proud of them. So we're just making sure you guys know that in your local comic book shops, they now have the ability to still order Stabby Bunny because they can always order after the fact in previews. So make sure that you're still asking for it at your local venue. DragonCon 17 had this amazing Spaceballs cosplay. We're going to take a look at it on the show today. Niobe 4 has been added to the Kickstarter Talk Rundown. We also have some other new exciting titles that we're going to go over today. Written Sins gives these Kickstarters their last rites, and we were just on the show a few minutes ago talking about that. So we're going to look at that really quickly, just a list. The Dandridge upgrade is coming to Wizard World Artist Alley, and we're going to talk more about that. That's huge breaking news today. We're excited to be talking about. Village Comics is giving away 1-year subscription of Comicsology Unlimited to one lucky comic book lover out there. Click on our main page and find this post to find out more. The Silent Descendants are hoping you find your support on Kickstarter. Visit them on Kickstarter today, as well as visiting both the Dragon Troll Chronicles and James and the New World Order and Dreamwalkers, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show, including all these amazing Kickstarters. We're going to go down the list. Make sure you join the Veteran's Wife in trying to make the holiday season joyful for all veterans. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to visit our Facebook group and our Facebook page for different reasons and some other stuff coming out from Facebook. But first, we're just going to go over the main stories from our site today. So let's dive into it. Now, we're talking about the Facebook group. Now, it's very simple. You join the group, you upload your stuff. We know we have permission. This is like a quick way around having to know if hey, Rex Gordon's in our chat room. Hey, Rex, what's going on? This is a quick way to get everything that you want shared on our site to be done there, even cosplay, Rex. If you have a cosplay picture you want us to feature on the site, we're more than happy to do that. You put your art, you put your projects, you put even your press releases on the site, and it goes directly to us. So we see it, and we now know we have permission to post it directly onto our site, which is exciting, and that's what we want to do. We want to get your stuff out there. It's what we need to do. And Rex will be sharing some cosplay, so look forward to that. DragonCon 17, speaking of cosplay, brought this amazing gender-bending cosplay. I mean, it was fantastic. I fell in love with it. I was like, what the shit? You know, seriously, that was awesome. It was really cool. The Schwartz was strong with them. Check it out. And if you know who they are, let us know who they were so we can give them the credit they deserve and reach out to them, maybe do an interview. Niobe 4 has hit it Kickstarter. It is The Broken Kiss. Some amazing cover art with it. Check it out. It's going to be on the show tomorrow. Kickstarter Talk will be on Wednesday. It's The Broken Kiss. But for now, get ahead of us and check it out tonight. We had the Kickstarter Last Rites show. We're just going to quickly go over the Last Rites actual comics that are there. It started with Luminous, Age of Dragons 1 through 3, the fantasy commissions. It went on to talk about Undig the Greatness on Kickstarter, where Cadaver's Reverend, Lucky Shot issue #1. All these Kickstarters, remember, time is running out on. We got to actually fund the MLAC. We got it to be actually officially funded now, which was fantastic. And we got to talk about what was next for Bruno. All of these are available on our main site. The video is actually in our section to the right of the main page or at the bottom of mobile devices at writtensins.com. And you can see the video right there, Written Sins Last Rites. It will be replaced by Kickstarter Talk tomorrow, but for now, it is the newest video. Check it out tonight. The Dandridge upgrade is coming to Wizard World. We have this fantastic video about him talking about how he will be in charge of the artist alleys for Wizard World. And I couldn't be more excited about this. Wizard World is an event that I want to be part of. So I'm thrilled to know that someone like Victor is in charge of it. It gives me a lot of hope for the future of Wizard World. I know a lot of people have talked negatively about it, but from what I've seen, because I follow Victor Dandridge, and he's been someone that I'm a fan of, and I even dare call him a friend of mine, and I'm very happy to call him a friend. I'm thrilled to be able to say he's a friend of mine. He also did the synopsis of Fetish Babies for me for our first book. I mean, it is so thrilling to see. I mean, to me, he is the hardest working man in comics. I know some people think that that's just him possibly, you know, giving a tagline, maybe just trying to make it seem like that. But to me, he is a very, very hard worker in comics. In indie comics, he's one of the best of us. I don't see anyone do as much as he does. And that's not knocking anyone, because I know a lot of hustlers out there. I know a lot of hard workers. That is a credit to him that I follow and pay attention, and I notice how hard he works at what he does. So I am very appreciative of Victor Dandridge and everything he does. So I'm thrilled to be able to announce that one of our own, someone who is one of us, who's done an interview with us, is now in charge of Wizard World. And instantly, you know, I gave him the suggestion. He'd asked who I thought should go to the show and who is someone they should be looking into. And the first name that came to mind, and there are hundreds that I could bother him with, so many people, but Marcel Dupree is really someone I think would be great for Wizard World. He is asking for you guys to tell him who you think should be featured at Wizard World or be invited to Wizard World, and you should take the time and think of some of the best out there. I knew Dirk Manning was a name that would instantly be someone Victor knew about. I wanted to give someone I knew who was ready, and I think Marcel Dupree is very ready for a con season. I think he's there, and I would like to see him be part of something like that. I'm looking forward to going to Wizard World. I might even put in for some press passes to cover it myself this year, knowing that Victor's in charge of the Artist Alley. So I want to see how that Artist Alley is. I want to see a Victor Dandridge Artist Alley. I am so excited about this. This has put Wizard World at the top of my list to do now. So I want to be part of the Dandridge Wizard World. So it's just exciting news. I could talk about this honestly for 25 minutes. Victor, I will say this and I'll move on. Victor was someone who encouraged me after my back surgery and I was in a wheelchair. He was one of those guys who lifted me up when I was having a very bad time in life. And it was the worst New York Comic Con I'd been to, and it didn't go the way I wanted it to. We had launched Written Sins Productions, which was, as most of you know now, a complete failure. He was one of those guys that just was an encouragement, and you know, just saying that he thought my ideas were good meant something to me, because I didn't think he was full of shit, and I didn't think he was trying to just get rid of me. He's just a very genuine guy. I look forward to seeing him all the time. And I want to go to Wizard World just to be able to hang out with them for 5 minutes. Because I know that's all you get with Victor is 5 minutes. And that goes back to being so busy. There's so many people who want to talk to him. He's just one of those magnetic personalities. The room is better with him in it. And I'm done. But I mean, just a great guy. I'm so proud of him, and he deserved it. It's the rest of the world is finally catching up with what I've known since I've met him, that he is the next big superstar, and I can't wait to continue to watch his star rise. So congratulations, Victor, from me directly. I look forward to seeing you soon. hopefully to Wizard World on the 2018 Comic-Con highway. And make sure, Victor, that you tell me where all the shows are this year so I can plug it. I'll put you in. Now that I know you're in charge of it, every show will be the Victor Dandridge Artist Alley of Wizard World. There we go. So look forward to that in 2018. November art brought to us by Character Development of the Runners by Marcel Dupree. Speaking of Marcel Dupree, what a segue. I didn't do that on purpose. Things just worked out well. This is an upcoming project. More coming soon. So let's check out the Written Sins Network's new look. We put in some new fantastic cover image there. It's a little pixelated for some reason, but that's Facebook for you. It does it all the time. But it does. It turns us all into advocates for indie comics, because that's what we are. We are all advocates. Every time we buy something, we share something, we're advocating for indie comics, and we're advocating to change the world of comic books in itself. And this is the site where you can see all the different creators getting together to put out their things like Fault, the Wahoo Morris. We got to talk, Robert Garr was talking about how he's gotten over $3,000 in climbing on his Kickstarter. I'm assuming, yeah, Blackjack issue 1. That will be part of the upcoming Written Sin show tomorrow. There are videos that are posted. We're asking about your Comic-Con. We're going to ask this again. Where's your Comic-Con stops for 2018? I'm making the list now. Consider me the Santa Claus of Comic-Cons, because I'm making a list, and there's no naughty list. It's your appearance list. So help me help promote you in your upcoming Comic-Con calendar, because without you telling me where you're going to be, I'm not going to know. So speak up, say something. It's on my page, and it's on this group itself. Casey gave us an interesting Christmas gift that we're going to put on our site in the next day, so look forward to that. But you can see it all now, and you can see things that will wind up featured on our actual site at Written Sins Network on Facebook. Check it out. We also updated our look on our page. Now, for those who don't know, the page gets instantly all of the threads. So as something is posted onto this, and if you don't want to check your email and you just want to see what's going on with Written Sins and get a snapshot of what's been going on, that's what our page is about. Our page gets all this stuff. And sometimes you can see pain in the ass that Facebook is. It doesn't always transfer over the images. Sometimes I have to go back in and change that. We're pretty lucky that a lot of times it does it. Here's the new art that we're using for this. It's all about making things more interesting. You guys can see it instantly updates all the amazing articles. So if you're on your cell phone and you want to see the different articles you want, you can check this out, or you can go directly to writtensins.com. Either way, it's a very awesome thing to have and be part of. We already have, I think the last time I checked, I want to say 1,100. Let's see if I'm right about how many people are actually, oh, wow. We have 1,500 likes. Was I way off on that? Speaking of which, too, writtensins.com is dangerously close to hitting our 20,000 member goal. For some reason, we're struggling to get there. I don't know why. I had to remove some spam email accounts. Every so often I go through it and I check, and there's like a list of spam email accounts. So we did release some, so that kind of hurt us. I think we got rid of 100 of them. Spam emails are just not worth keeping around. So help us get to 20,000. Subscribe to writtensins.com today. Also, this came out. The Visual Arts Center of New Jersey posted this amazing art from Chris Madden. You guys know I've worked with Chris Madden. He's legit. He's one of the best guys. He's someone that I think Victor Dandridge should actually have. He's one of the artists I'd like to see Victor invite. And I should actually tell Victor Dandridge that. Victor Dandridge Jr., if you're watching, Chris Mad, serious talent. If you don't already know him, I think you guys know each other from the New York Comic Con, but you never know. In indie comics, we never know who knows each other. We assume certain people know each other, but sometimes they need introductions. So Chris Mad, meet Victor Dandridge. Victor Dandridge, meet Chris Mad. Fantastic artist. He is featured. I don't know if we're going to – he did art for Fetish Babies Aftermath, but because of the serious tone, I might push his art to be part of the mentor search because of the – it's weird. And that's a different topic in itself, and I won't go off on a tangent. It's something I have to decide. Let's put it that way. The artist spotlight, Chris Mann himself, is being spotlit by the Visual Arts Center of New Jersey. His passion for art is noticed and gets the age of his passion for art was noticed at the age of 3 when he found a gallon of black liquor and painted his parents' kitchen. All throughout school, he had pencil in his hand and loved drawing people. After high school, he found a job hand-painting signs and awnings. It was during this time he taught himself about computers and how to use graphic programs. He took this knowledge and became a freelance sign designer and finally started his own business. After launching that, he went back to pencil and paper and began his pursuit in comics and sequential art. His website is gonemadgraphics.tumblr.com. So check it out today. Kickstarters that are going to be featured on the show that you might not have seen. We've seen Saw, but Nowhere Man is coming by Ken and White. We have from Rebecca McPherson, welcome, Imaginary Voyagers. We're going to check that out tomorrow. We're going to talk about Victoria Black is going to be on the show. We're going to, of course, have the Silent Descendants come back. But we're also going to have Argo 5 trade back from Dan Sheen and Black Jack issue 1 from Stephen Kapusky. Sorry, I know I'm pronouncing that one wrong, but it'll be on the show tomorrow, so I'll try to maybe see if Siri or if Google knows how to pronounce it. Now we're going to talk about, remember I told you we were going to find out about our sponsor today, which was Battle for the Net. Okay, so here it is. Dirk Manning mentioned this today, and I thought it was the perfect segue right here, right now. Urging, if you're not freaking about net neutrality right now, you're not paying attention. This is the truth. I'm not going to go fully into it. I know I don't like talking about politics. I think this goes beyond politics, though. This is a right that's being stripped away from us, and we don't even realize it. For those who don't know what net neutrality is, the simplest way I can put it is that right now the internet is a place where anyone is equal, technically. You can argue the difference of having to pay for ads and all that, but for the basic thing right now, my site, Written Sins, the site that you all love, gets to be streamed at the same, I guess, frequency or speed that every other site is. No one site should go faster than another. Load times, of course, will vary, but the idea is that every site loads as fast as the other site. Now, if something changes and net neutrality goes away, they can block sites. So you could get, and here's the thing, the FCC said that there'll be a list of sites that are blocked, but it won't say what. I didn't see anywhere where it said, Dan Sheen, we just talked about your Kickstarter. He just showed up in the room. Dan Sheen's with us in the chat room. Net neutrality is all about giving companies power to decide what you're going to be watching. So Marvel can decide that Written Sins is an issue and pay off Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, Time Warner Cable, if there is even still one anymore. Anyone who's a provider of internet, they can pay them off to stop allowing Written Sins to be broadcast. And it goes beyond me. I'm thinking, I'm talking about Disney trying to profile Written Sins like they know us. I don't think that they would do it just to us. I think they do it to every indie comic book site. Because why not crush your competition? Because that's exactly what net neutrality will allow. It will allow people to stop the ability for freedom of speech to be on the internet, for sites like Written Sins to be able to bring you content that other sites aren't bringing you. They can stop that because it might go against their business model, because there's something that they want you to pay attention to more. Or worse, they can just make my site, instead of even putting me on a list, they can just say that these companies can now try to charge me. And this is a free site. We don't make money for running Written Sins. I lose money. My family loses money to do what we do. They could then now charge me to stream on, and when they charge me, don't get it twisted. It's not just like a flat fee. You'll get to do it all. No, Comcast will charge me. Verizon will charge me. AT&T could wind up charging me. And that could effectively end Written Sins. So you want to know why net neutrality is important? If you like having your work shared on Written Sins, if you like what Written Sins does, Net neutrality is about protecting written sins. It's about protecting all the other websites that you guys like. It's about protecting artists and creators and keeping their websites available to be used. Without net neutrality, this could be a gigantic blow to indie comics beyond written sins. It can affect every creator. It can affect Kickstarter. You don't think they'll go after Kickstarter to make money off of Kickstarter and then the percentage will go up on Kickstarter? This could affect everything we do. The bigger companies want this to make themselves go faster, but there is greed behind this, and it can really, really harm things. Melissa Mullins said that this is not going to be a good thing, and I couldn't stress that anymore. I am really scared about this. Beyond my site, Written Sins, which I love doing, I mean, if this ended Written Sins, that'd be one thing, but I also think that this could end what we know indie comics as it now. Because without the internet, indie comics wouldn't be what it is today. And I want you to understand that this is a direct threat to indie comics. You know, this could be the end of what we know indie comics to be. This is horrible. This is something they can stop us from being able to talk about our projects. And you, for most of you, saw what happened when Facebook tried to censor me talking about fetish babies. Imagine these companies having that power to censor over any topic we want to talk about. That's what it becomes. This is giant censorship. This is greed, and this is a monopoly beginning to happen over the internet. You guys got to get active. You got to be part of this. Forget saying, oh, I don't know what it is and I don't care. You're going to, you know what? You know what's going to happen? If you don't get involved now, this is going to go down. There's only, I think, a couple days left. This ends communities. And Melissa's saying this could end a lot of things we do for our community. It's absolutely right. She does autism awareness. How does autism awareness get out there if they're being charged? Because that's what will wind up happening. You'll have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay to play. This is dangerous. This isn't politics. This is ways of life. Mom and pop shops that have gone online to survive because they can't afford a brick and mortar will now be put down. This could end so many different sites. This is a domino effect. This kills indie comics if it goes through right now. I mean, will it survive? Will people keep creating? Of course. But I mean, how would an online printer, even like Kablam, how would Kablam survive this? They would have to pay. Every time someone pays to be able to boost their signal, that's a cost that the consumer eats. We are all consumers. This means our life is going to get more expensive. Your even your modem, just to use your modem at home, it will double in price. You'll have to pay for Netflix. Oh, you're going to stream Netflix? Well, we're going to have to add a $2.99 service fee. It's going to be just like cell phones are, just like cable company bills are. It's going to make everything worse. Now is the time to act. If you wait and this passes, it's partly your fault. And everything that happens after will be your fault. And I don't even know if we can stop it right now because there's not enough people taking it serious, because I see creators right now thinking this is a joke. And I can't stress to you enough how scary this is to me. As a creator, I'm afraid that I won't be able to get my stuff out there. As a supporter of indie comics, as an advocate for indie comics, I'm terrified by it. And as a person who runs a site called Written Sins, I'm terrified. Please help me. Please write to Congress and tell them this can't happen. Not in America. Not in our country. This is a freedom that we can't have taken from us. So much has been taken over the last year. Don't let this freedom be taken for us. The internet should be a free society for anyone to be able to put whatever they want, whether it's stupid, whether you don't agree with it. That should be a right on the internet that everyone should have, and it shouldn't be taken along. Melissa's going to end our conversation by saying, bottom line, if people don't vote or act, they have no right to get mad when this happens. Please act. Do something right now. Sign a petition. Call your local person. This site will tell you it's 3 weeks to save net neutrality. 3 weeks. Don't let it go down. Please support net neutrality. I wanted to also talk about this amazing thing I saw. I thought this was really, really cool. This was something that someone had posted online, and I thought it really touched me because I was a kid who struggled in school. I really was. And it was a lot to do with my dyslexia. And it was a very painful part of my life, and I'll never forget how hard I tried at times at school, but I could never get it done. Dyslexia, ADHD, it wasn't a good combination. It was very hard on me. So this is a beautiful letter I'm going to read out loud. Dear parents, the exams of your children are to start soon. I know you are all really anxious for your child to do well, but please do remember, amongst the students who will be sitting for the exams, there is an artist who doesn't need to understand math. There is an entrepreneur who doesn't care about history or English literature. There is a musician whose chemistry marks won't matter. There is an athlete whose physical fitness is more important than physics. If your child does not get top marks, if your child does get top marks, that's great. But if he or she doesn't, please don't take away from their self-confidence and dignity from them. Tell them it's okay. It's just an exam. They are cut out for much bigger things in life. Tell them no matter what they score, you love them and you will not judge them. Please do this. When you do, watch your children conquer the world. One exam or a low mark won't take away their dreams and their talent. And please don't think the doctors and engineers are the only happy people in the world. I thought that was beautiful. I really did. As someone who has struggled my whole life because I'm dyslexic, everything's harder for me. My editors have seen it. I don't see mistakes. You see when I read things out loud, I struggle. I do my best, but I struggle to keep up with it. This was something beautiful because I got called stupid a lot, and I got called an idiot. Teachers would call me stupid. My mother would call me stupid. People in my family called me stupid and lazy, and they didn't understand it. Now look, I make comic books, and I think I do really good at making comic books, and I'm blown away by something like this, and I think it's important. I think kids should do good in school, don't get me wrong, but I also think some kids can't do good in school. There are things that I can do that other people can't do in life. I see things differently, but there's no test to see that currently in school systems because I'm not a sheep and I don't regurgitate things the same way. I don't even understand things the same way. So I do think this is an important message, and I do hope you guys share it because I do think that a lot of us, especially in the creative fields, have struggled with being looked down on for who we are. And because the test scores weren't what they were, we were looked down on, and that's very painful. Don't spread it to your children. Encourage your children to be who they are and make sure that they have the education they need, but don't make them feel horrible for not being an A student. Melissa chimed in and said, also, I can help people find their contact person about this if they need to, just as an FYI. Melissa's also a reporter on Written Sins. So if you need to get in touch with Melissa, let me know. I'll hook you guys up. Melissa will help with the net neutrality. We also talked about your Comic-Con appearances. Once again, let me know where you're going to be so I can add it to the list. I'm going to do that over the next 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to build a giant 2018 roadmap. We're always going to be able to add to it. But getting out early, letting me know things now helps me build a list because this year we're focusing on where the creators are going to be. And we're going to rely on conventionscene.com to tell us where the other shows are where we don't know where creators are. So we want to focus on the creators and then do a shorter list later at the end of the program. Here are the cons we haven't talked about that might be in your area. So please help us make that come to be. We did the visual arts of my good friend Chris Med, who I think should be at the Wizard Worlds. Victor, I know you were watching this at one point. If you watch it back again, that was the show for today. I'm a little teary-eyed from reading that letter, so I'm going to go cry like a little girl. Thank you. And I'm not making fun of little girls. It's just true. Little girls cry. I'm going to go now. Send all your hate mail to writtensins@yahoo.com. Thank you for all tuning in. I'll catch you all later. See you tomorrow for Kickstarter talk and then later for tomorrow's news.